Hey Gems, welcome back to another video. Today I have a Melanie reaction and the title got me very intrigued. So we're just going to jump right into it. If you end up enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up and obviously hit the subscribe button as well and come join the family. But yeah, let's jump right into it.
Now, a new travel warning. 2 women were drugged and assaulted while on vacation in the Bahamas, unaware the State Department had issued a travel advisory in the area. Eva Pilgrim has the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. These 2 moms say they thought they were doing all the right things to be safe.
Okay.
They were in a pair. They didn't take drinks from strangers. They weren't drinking in excess. But this morning, they say their drinks were drugged at a Bahamian resort and they were attacked. The FBI now investigating.
Okay.
Amber Shearer and Dengalia Dobson were on their first kids-free vacation on board a Carnival cruise.
We've been best friends for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And we decided we were going to make this our girls' trip.
On the last day of their trip, they stopped at a local resort on Grand Bahama Island, a resort they say the cruise ship recommended. Once there, the mothers claimed they were offered a 2-for-1 drink, which they accepted, but immediately fell ill.
After the first drink, we had to get out of the ocean because we noticed that it was just hitting so hard. I just felt so out of it.
Shearer and Dobson say they lost consciousness and allege that after drinking the drugged cocktails, members of the resort staff sexually assaulted them.
I vaguely remember glimpses of his face. I don't remember all of it. I don't remember everything, but I remembered enough of that he was a staff worker and he had a goatee and he was a local. But the resort security were able to go pull the footage and identify them right then and there.
They say there were bruises on their legs and that they tested positive for various drugs. The Royal Bahamas police posting on Facebook confirming 2 men were arrested for sexual assault of 2 women and that an investigation is underway. Shearer and Dobson say that's not enough. They're back in the U.S. demanding justice. The State Department issued a level 2 travel advisory for the Bahamas in late January due to an increase in homicides and sexual violence.
It's extremely important if you're going to go overseas. Also have an
2 guests on Carnival Elation reported to Bahamian police that they were sexually assaulted at a local beach. Considering that now, their advice for other women: stick to groups of 4 or more when traveling.
Wow.
Well, hey there, GMA.
also have an obligation to make sure that the areas that they're recommending to passengers, to tourists, are safe.
Carnival due to an increase in homicides and sexual violence.
Hey guys, it's your girl Melanie, and it looks like there's 2 moms who went on a girls' trip alone without their husbands or children. And somehow it turned into 2 random staffers at a resort while they're on a cruise decide to just drug them down and them randomly.
Sorry.
What is the world coming to? Men everywhere are just so dangerous. But what's that you say? What's that you say, Bob? Oh, we have another report coming in.
This is crazy. I made a video last night about these 2 moms from Kentucky who were on a Carnival cruise.
Let me read. Bahama beach resort where 2 Kentucky moms say they were raped denies their version of events as Carnival Cruises claims they went off on their own for independent excursion.
Made a stop at Grand Bahama, and apparently 2 of the staff members there slipped some DRUGs into their drinks and then SA'd them. Well, the resort and the cruise line is saying that their story is completely wrong and that they made this whole thing up. So the resort is called Pirates Cove, and they have 16 cameras around the resort, and it basically captured everything. And this account on the Book of Faces has a video that's just full of information. But basically, they said upon further review of their surveillance videos, the allegations made on site and in subsequent social media posts and news stories conflict with what the time-stamped surveillance videos contain. As such, the lengthy videos of all concerned have been handed over to the local police and will be shared with our industry partners as needed. And then the resort goes on to say that the 2 guys were terminated, but because they violated the zero tolerance policy.
So just so you know, these guys were not terminated because they did anything to these women. It's just they in the surveillance, it was found that they did other things that were against company policy and at the resort. But as you can see here, we saw these 2 victimized hot girl summer thought box women that decided to go on a girls trip. And we all know what happens on the girls trips. They're in the Bahamas. They wanted to get some BBC. They wanted to get piped down away from their small Midwest town and their boring husbands and their boring life. And of course they went here to get blacked. And that's exactly, in my opinion, that's exactly what happened. And then of course they come back and spin a victim's narrative that all this happened to them. And I have no idea why. I rack my brain all the time in trying to figure out, why would a woman do something like this? Is it because they slept with them?
Maybe.
Without using protection, and perhaps they could have caught something. So they're thinking, we have to come up with a story about this. Or perhaps
what end?
They wanted to get money for a lawsuit. They regretted it the next day. These men, it wasn't as good as they thought. I don't know.
I was come
across so many stories of
they're all torn apart,
making up false allegations of rape. And this is very serious because there are real women that have gone through this, women and men that have gone through this, and we are not going to keep believing these victims because hot boxes like these, absolute city girls like this, decide to go somewhere. And then, we have to bring in the racial component in this as well. These two white Midwest moms decided to go they're in this other country, in Bahamas, a poorer country, knowing that they have a higher economic status than these men, knowing them being two white moms, they're going to be believed. And again, you guys know I don't make everything about race, but this just shows the entitlement of the Western feminists and why men around the world cannot trust the Western feminist, cannot trust the Western woman, no matter what color she is.
Right.
This is her MO. If it suits her, if it's something that she can gain from making a false accusation on you, she is going to believe. All she has to do is shed a few crocodile tears, claim that you did something, and then you will be charged. You will be fired. You will be arrested. You will have your life ruined, your reputation ruined. They just so happen to actually have surveillance footage. Imagine how many men have been locked up, falsely accused, and things have happened to them. They've been imprisoned. Because there is no footage. They just believe the word of this woman. And because she's a woman, well, of course she must be a victim.
And there's two of them.
How many times does this have to happen before we actually change the laws, before we actually have to have evidence? They will usually these women came forward, but normally the victim's name will be held private even after she's found to be lying. She's still seen as a victim while the man's name and face and likeness is blasted all over the place. And we know that accusation alone will crucify him and destroy his life. I don't know how any man in the world is still dealing with a Western woman.
Here's a timeline according to their footage. The girls entered the property at 8:17 in the morning. They were greeted by staff at 8:24. Then at 9:40, one of the girls met with one of the guys who's being accused. Then at 10:06, you can see them, looks like they're walking arm in arm with these two guys. They were headed towards the western side of the beach where the alleged incident took place. Now check out this video and then listen to what they have to say about it.
Refused to let us see a U.S. physician or a carnival physician.
Refused to let us have a rape kit done immediately. Made us go to the bathroom.
Guys, they wouldn't even give us a rape kit after we had been raped. They refused. They made us go to the bathroom, use toilet tissue, and they collected toilet tissue as their specimens.
And then they did an alcohol test on us like we were just super drunk.
No, I can't take them seriously.
In our system at all.
Well, the resort says that their EMS offered medical assistance to both of the girls, but they declined and even signed a waiver. And then they left for the cruise ship in a private vehicle. But knowing the gravity of the incident, their officers boarded the cruise ship, providing an SA kit and hospital form to the ship's medical doctor. So that's completely different than what the girls are saying. And just to throw in there is now a GoFundMe with a $10,000 goal. Apparently it's to help raise money for medications that they need that help prevent certain diseases.
So there you have it. The modern Western feminist woman, which generally most of the Western women today are indoctrinated with some level of feminism. It is a sliding scale. Okay, it is a scale. Not every woman is at the same level of feminism, but there is this indoctrination when it suits them, they will use their tears
Mm.
to hurt a man. They will use their tears to save themselves. I have countless number of stories that are
Wow.
out there that I have done research on. I have highlighted a few on my channel, even talking about Matt Ariza and several other even celebrity type of men that this has happened to. No man is safe when the Western woman is
Right.
something that she wants. She's going to do whatever it takes to get it from you.
It is.
And now they're even having laws now where they're on campuses, some campuses that they're promoting that if a woman can actually withdraw consent. So if she's, I think up to a week that she has to withdraw consent. So that if you sleep with her and she decides, well, I didn't like how it went. I didn't like the way he treated me. He didn't kiss my butt afterwards. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. She just changes her mind. She
Yeah,
can now
no.
withdraw consent, even if consent was given at the time, even if there was a witness to consent. And then
Oh.
you can then be charged. You can then be kicked off of campus. This is how crazy and antagonistic this world has gotten towards men. And while there are stories like this where women have really been victimized,
Mm-hmm.
it is sad that they promoted these women without having strong evidence that something
Right.
happened. They allowed these women to just tell their story without any
Yeah, on the news as
any type
well.
of investigation being done. They were just allowed. They called the news stations to promote this
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to warn other women in case they're going and blah blah blah. And then now they wonder why men, you can't believe all women anymore.
This is it.
Because
The
of
men
women
are
like
staying away.
this, females like this, disgusting females that if they're lying, which it looks like the evidence is showing that they're lying, according to the cruises now, of course, the investigation has to
Mhm.
finish, so we don't have the thing. But this alleged situation that happened, that they claim happened, now we're seeing that not only the cruise line, but the Bahamian professionals,
Yeah.
the authorities, they're saying that they're lying, that they're making this up, that the evidence shows something completely different than their
Mhm.
timeline. And we know if a woman has been getting bust down by BBC in one of these countries, she just has to come home and face the consequences of
Mhm.
her sins, face the consequences of what she's done. It could be that she caught a disease, it could be her own conscience, whatever it
Mhm.
is, but somehow she has to be a victim. And of course, some poor simp is going to believe that she was, whether there's evidence of it or not. So, guys, I'm really upset
Yeah.
about stories like this because I know women personally
Yeah.
this happened to. This happened to my mother at 14.
Oh
And so
boy.
I'm an advocate for, against SA and all of that,
Yeah.
against men and
Me
women and
too.
especially children. But when we see these stories come out like this, it does nothing but hurt people, and it does
Mhm.
nothing but hurt men further and demonize men, when a lot of times
Yeah.
the perpetrators of these crimes are actually women.
Mhm.
All right, guys, leave a comment below. And I
Love
would be
it.
so
Thank you
grateful if you
so
guys can
much,
follow me on social
darling.
media.
You like that? I love that. Oh, this video is so mean. So sad that these women are blamed. It's actually disgusting. Oh, let me pin that. Let me see. Blamed? They are liars who should be sent to prison. They are caught on tape being sluts and lied for attention. First, you would have to explain how these women can be both unconscious after being drugged and have their arms around these men while walking off. Yeah, believe all women. Oh boy. My bet is that their husbands caught them in their lie, and instead of coming clean, they developed an SA story. But how did they get it on the news? That's sad. No one is safe. But yeah. This was nice. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and obviously hit the subscribe button as well. And come join the family. But until next time, take care and God bless. Bye-bye.